We're going to talk about meeting death in a new way. So if we see death as a separation of soul and body, body is finite, it only lasts so long. Soul is infinite. At some point, we've come into our body, and at some point, we're leaving our body. And so death is a separation of soul and body. And physical medicine understands how to support our bodies through that process. And there's a complex body of theory and practice and diagnostic tools and understanding of what this sign and this symptom mean and what the intervention and the healing solution and the treatment. So we understand body-based. And my real vision and dream is that we also develop a similar literacy around the soul's journey and work towards a similar body of theory and practice that tells us what's happening, how to diagnose, what this sign means, what this means. And then here is a set of healing interventions of treatment options that we can apply to those. And of course, it's a non-physical dynamic as opposed to a physical dynamic. So just a little flag to the Awakening the Archetype of the Death Walker video, that we are sensitive people who are called to this work because we feel energy, right? It's not something you can measure with a ruler. It's something you feel and experience. So when I'm diagnosing what's happening, it's because I'm getting intuitive hits or body sensations or felt sense awareness of how to diagnose and then also how to respond. In this model, we want to differentiate soul and spirit from religion, right? That those are not the same thing. That there are foundational archetypal dynamics about what happens as we die. In a very general sense, it's like we die, there's something between here and there, and then there's where we go after we die. And to my understanding of it, pretty much every cultural picture and religious picture of death has that here, there, and something in between. Right? So there's some deep archetypal, I can almost trust those as objective realities. Right? What we put on top of those is the story about what's here and what's there and how we get from here to there and what the rituals are we need to get from here to there. Those are the religious and cultural overlays. They're different stories. So it's like the difference between the map and the territory. The territory is, the map is our interpretation. You can have different maps of the same territory. And so different religious and cultural traditions have different maps. Catholicism has a map of heaven and hell and purgatory, and there are a whole set of rituals that fit around that, and that's a complete picture. Right? Ancient Norse traditions would have a picture of Valhalla, and this is how you get from here to there. So these different maps are intact in their own context. The dominant Western map, though, it's the weirdest thing because it's almost a vacuum. It's just a lack. We say essentially the light switch goes out and then there is nothing. So that Western map that just says we're out, gone, there's no more of us. No wonder we are terrified of death. That is the core existential terror, to cease existing and to fall out of relationship. Right? Nobody wants to go there. So the Sacred Deathcare map and the evolution of that is to create a model that gives us a framework for being able to negotiate that territory, right? It's the map on top of that territory. And the core principle in there is that there are deep underlying archetypal structures. There's a reliable path that we can lean into. And that when we can understand that archetypal map and those energetic dynamics and align with them and collaborate with them and get some awareness of what to expect, it's an easier process than either fighting against it or being buffeted and being out of sync with it. We can work with it if we know what it is. So become journeyers on this voyage with the map through the territory instead of like getting tossed around in a washing machine or something without any awareness. And so death is still hard and it's still sad. But it's just hard and sad. It's what death is. It doesn't have this added complexity and difficulty and cultural dysfunction.